What is going on, dorks? Do not be alarmed. Do not be deceived. We are back once again with the Dorks Next Door podcast. Yes, it's been, about 2 years since we've done a podcast, it feels like. But we are very glad to be back. I'm sorry for the little white box that is around my face. If you are watching this on the YouTube channel, if you're watching this, I'm sorry about the white box. That's just the autofocus, and I'm not sure how to turn that off my camera yet. So I've never claimed to be a technological person. It's just there. Deal with it. Get over it. It's fine. Welcome back to the Dorks Next Door, though. I'm your man, Andy York. It has been a long time since we've done this. I have honestly missed doing this. But we haven't been just doing nothing with the podcast. We have a very exciting announcement we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the podcast. If you've watched our YouTube channel, you've seen our Twitter account, you know what we're talking about. But we're going to go into depth about what you can expect with that. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. But as always, I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jason Lee, who is no longer on Twitter, unfortunately. Jason, how you doing, man?
I am doing very good. As you can see, I am in beautiful Sonoma, California, obviously. Yes, but actually I am using this wonderful Zoom background with the auto green screen because there's a mess behind me that I don't want anyone to see.
Right, yeah.
So
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's a smart way to do it.
I have a big bed sheet over a TV in my background. And we're also unfortunately going to get the glare from the computer on my glasses. I'm going to try and look down like a disapproving teacher the whole time instead, see if I can fix that. But
right.
it is what it is.
This is our first quarantine podcast, so don't expect anything high quality right now as we are trying to learn how to do this. But we are back once again, hopefully on a weekly basis, as long as the world doesn't end within the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we can do this on a week-to-week basis. But we have missed doing this. We've missed you guys a lot. We've been active on Twitter, on a couple other places as well. But it's nice to be back on the podcasting platform. And we were talking about this before we recorded. It seems like we've missed a lot, but we really haven't, which is like, it's a really weird feeling of like, I feel like we've missed a lot more than we actually have.
Right. Yeah, it seemed like, in a lot of places the world has just kind of stood still for a little while, which there are a lot of cons to. The pro is that it makes our jobs a little bit easier right now, trying to catch up and stuff like that. We don't have really too much to catch up with apart from, ourselves and a few different entertainment things and like our big announcement as well. But yeah, it's been a very different and a very weird last couple of months, to say the least, for sure. But it's still we've got a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about. A few things. Obviously, Jason is going to have a Smash theory because it wouldn't be a Dorks Next Door podcast if we didn't talk about Super Smash Bros., which is totally fine. Of course.
Normally, we start off a podcast by talking about what we've been into the last week. But seeing it's been 3 months, I think, since we've done a podcast, 2 or 3 months since we've done a podcast, I'm going to ask you this loaded question, Jason. What have you been up to the last 3 months?
Oh, man. So I guess I haven't really gotten a chance to talk about it, but kind of when everything sort of exploded, I was still working at the store that I used to work at, and that's not why I'm not working there. I just left. But I stuck around for a while after that, and my last day was actually just recently, and then I'm starting somewhere else pretty soon, which that was all good. It's all like a good transition and everything. But that's something that's been taking up a lot of my time, is just kind of leaving that old job, coming into the new one. All the things that come along with that have really been taking up a lot of what I've been thinking about and stuff like that, of course. So that, really big life change there. And I mean, a few other things apart from that, but not,
not a whole lot.
Not anything too groundbreaking. I mean, it's been slow. Like I said, the world's been pretty slow. Not when you're working in a grocery store. If you're working in a grocery store, the world is just crazy all the time because
right.
Not only is everybody and their dog in the store, they're all mad at you too because they're already stressed out.
And there's no toilet paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Pray for your essential workers, your grocery people, your fast food people, because they definitely need it. They still need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah. So of course, smash speculation is the only thing rattling around in my empty head. So that's what I'll talk about.
We wouldn't expect anything less than a smash speculation or theory at this point. I've been into is my family. So I have family that lives in Buffalo, New York, so like the New York area. And when all of this broke loose, they actually came down here to get away because New York got hit a lot harder than where we are. So they decided to come down here, and they've been living here for about 2 months. They actually went home. Wow. They went home yesterday. So like today's the first like quiet day we've had at this house. It's been nice though. My brother and my sister-in-law and my 2 nephews were here. And then my girlfriend lives in Buffalo. And so they brought her down and she lived here for like 2 months. And then is hopefully going to be moving back here in August and staying here for good. So a lot of exciting stuff. It's just been a lot of people in a very confined area for a long time. And so it's nice just to be quiet and like relax. The main thing I've been doing is my girlfriend has only seen a handful of Marvel movies. And so we went through and watched, we got all the way up to Civil War and watched it. So she was like, she watched the first Iron Man movie with her brother. And then she watched the Guardians 1 and Guardians 2 and the Thor movies. And she thought that they were really boring or whatever. And then when we started watching them, and like I kind of gave her like details on like what's actually going on and what's happening, now she's actually hooked and is very excited. So she has no idea what happens in Endgame or Infinity War or anything like that. So I get to experience that with her for the first time, which is very exciting.
Perfect.
Which is very, very exciting. So I'm more excited though to see her reaction to Infinity War than Endgame, because of how Infinity War ends and everything. So I'm very excited to go on this journey with her. She asked if we wanted to watch any of the DC movies, and I was like, if it's not Christopher Nolan, I'm good. So we'll move on from that. We will talk about that and discuss that because that was a massive thing that happened while we were on quarantine, and I know you're going to be very excited to sink your teeth into that topic. But before we do anything else, before we move on, let's dive into what our big announcement was last week. We have been working on for the last couple of months. And this has been an idea in my head, but over quarantine, I actually got time to sit down and actually focus on it and look at it. And that is that we are launching our very own website. If you go to on Monday, June 15th, which is this upcoming Monday, if you go to dorksnextdoor.com, Dorks Next Door, take out the E from next, just like our Twitter handle, dorksnextdoor.com, you will be able to find all the things that we cannot cover or talk about on the podcast, and some stuff that we do talk about and cover on the podcast. We get this platform that we like to use on our website where we're going to be talking about Marvel, DC, Star Wars. If you're a wrestling nerd out there like I am, we're going to be having a wrestling column, some gaming columns, a lot of other stuff as well. We've got a lot of our friends helping us. Nico from New World Nerds is going to be writing for us. My friend over at Pipe Bomb Wrestling, Chris Belcher, and his buddies are going to be writing for us as well. Jason, you've got a couple of friends that are probably going to write for us as well. So we're very, very excited to talk about all and type and write about all the things that we don't really get to talk about on here. We will be doing movie reviews on the podcast and on our YouTube channel as well still, but we'll also be doing them on our website. We'll be doing movie reviews, theories, news, basically anything else that you talk about, Disney Plus stuff. So there's a lot of exciting stuff we're going to be talking about on our website as well. So June 15th at dorksnextdoor.com, you'll be able to check out everything you see there, everything you want to see there. It'll be very exciting to see all the stuff. This is a very exciting time because this is like we've taken very small steps over the last 2 years to kind of build where we are now. We went through a name change. We went through an entire like redesign. We opened up our own apparel store and clothing store. And then we've opened up our website now, which is very, very exciting. It seems like we're taking the right steps, the small right steps into the right direction. So we hope you join us on this journey as we launch the dorksnextdoor.com. Jason, what are you most excited about for writing on the dorksnextdoor.com or just in general about our website?
Well, and something that I told you before we started recording is that I am a much better writer than I am speaker. And I love doing the podcast, obviously. It's why I've done it for so long. I really enjoy being able to come and talk about things like this, but this is just kind of another outlet that kind of more naturally suits me, I think. So it'll be really cool to have both of these outlets, kind of working symbiotically with each other too, to speculate, to review, to just write about stuff. I think it'll be really, really cool to have that. I'm super stoked about it.
Yeah, the thing I think I'm most excited about is we've got so many friends helping us out with it that we get to see different opinions on our own website other than our own. So when it comes to movie reviews, most of the time we have a very similar opinion. It depends on the movie, but we have a pretty similar opinion. I'm very excited to see other people writing to see if we have the same opinion as them. We'll be talking about their opinion on our podcast as well. We'll be bringing them on probably to talk about it, which is very exciting. We are starting a wrestling podcast on our website as well, where all the writers that can get together that week are going to just talk about what happened in the wrestling world that week as well. So there's just a lot of exciting stuff that we're going to be talking about and handling on our website. So make sure you join us June 15th. That's this Monday, dorksnextdoor.com. We are going to be plugging that, and we're going to be punching you in the face with that as much as we can, because we want you to join us on this journey to freedom, to rewrite. We're going to take back the journalism column. We're not going to be one of those websites that, just post things just to get a reaction or clickbait. We're not going to do that. We are going to have theories. We are going to have things that we put out there, but we're not going to be a clickbait site that just draws in attention for no reason.
I was just going to say, clickbait gaming journalism has been driving me nuts lately over the quarantine. Oh my gosh, I can't handle it.
Right.
Because there are so many outlets now. Even though I'm not on Twitter and I barely get on Facebook, there are still so many ways for clickbait journalism to still grab you, and for you to still engage with it, just because of what the age that we live in now, and so. Yeah, it's been driving me insane, basically.
Well, this is a fantastic segue to talk about our first major thing we're going to be talking about on the episode this week, and that is a clickbait website, or a clickbait title, I guess, that's been going around for a long time, and a clickbait hashtag that's been going around for a long time has finally come true, and I don't necessarily know how to feel about it. It is reported in 2021, I believe, next year on HBO Max. They are finally releasing the Justice League Snyder Cut version of the film. It's reportedly going to be 4 hours long, and it's going to be the vision of the wonderful, amazing director that is I forget his name, Zack Snyder.
Snyder, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
love that guy.
Here is my initial reaction. I am upset and happy at the same time, because I know for a fact that this film is not going to be as exciting as people think it is. So I'm happy about the fact that once this comes out, people will finally be able to shut up about the Snyder Cut release.
Well, and that's the problem, is that, I don't know, because there's also, people are going to, I foresee some people talking about it like it's just like, oh, it's the Snyder Cut, best movie of 2021.
Right.
And stuff like that, which, everyone's entitled to their own opinion,
right.
But it's just like, it's this constant back and forth. And, sometimes it's just nice to settle with a more objective opinion on a movie. Not going to sit here and claim like all of my opinions on movies are just galaxy brain, like, the objectively correct one or anything like that. But yeah, it is the most annoying thing about it, definitely, to me, and I think also to you, is just the continued discussion about it, because Justice League, it just like, it causes me pain, because I want it to be good. Right. And I want all the DC movies that have come out to be good. Right. That's why I rag on them all the time, is because I wish they were better, because I love these characters, and it's just like, it's just going to be continued discussion about like how crazy great or terrible, the Snyder Cut has turned out. And it's just like, man, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. I just want it to be better. I mean, I do want to talk about it in one sense. Also, like, it's just going to be a constant, back and forth.
Yeah.
So that's really the annoying part.
My thing is, I truly hope that it's good, because like you said, these are characters that I love. Like, Batman was the first superhero that I really got heavily invested in. And then like the Flash was the second one I got heavily invested in. And so like, I love these characters. And the issue with Justice League when it first came out was not necessarily the director. It was that it was way too soon. It was rushed. There was no point in having a Justice League film at the time, because we didn't really get to know a majority of the characters heading into the film. And so it was very rushed, and it was just doomed to fail from the beginning. Now we still don't know a lot about these characters, and we're jumping into a Snyder Cut release of a film that people are not big fans of. And I don't know. I hope for DC's sake it is good, but I kind of hope it's not at the same time, because I feel like this is DC's attempt to say, you want it, you got it, don't come talk to us about how bad it is.
Yeah. Right. I also, I definitely don't ascribe to the theory that Zack Snyder is the solution to any of DC's problems.
Right.
I believe quite the opposite, actually. So for the Snyder Cut to come out and everyone to be like, oh, it's amazing, thank you, Zack, and it's like, it makes it seem like, oh, well, we should have just trusted Zack the entire time, when no.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that would have been a horrible idea. The way I kind of see it is that Justice League that came out in 2016 was this undercooked steak. All of the characters were undercooked. The entire plot was undercooked. The setting was undercooked. The world building was undercooked. Everything was just like, it was just like, and not like rare. It was just kind of like raw,
Yeah.
It was a steak that you do not want to eat, and it might hurt you if you do. And the Snyder Cut, to me, looking at it from a distance, I don't know what it's going to be yet. It just seems like it is going to be an undercooked steak, but like twice as big.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's not going to be rare. It's not going to be like medium rare or anything. It's just going to be a bigger steak, and it's just like, anything to do with this.
Yeah.
Because, I want these characters done justice. I want these characters done right. And that's not what's happening.
Yeah. But to an extent, I am happy that it's finally, no matter what happens, it'll finally be over and done with. And then we'll hopefully move on with our lives.
Yeah.
Because that would probably, I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb, and it's not that much of a limb. Going to go out and say that's probably not even the best Batman movie or Batman appearance of 2021, for sure, because we have the Robert Pattinson Batman movie. Speaking of movies, though, a lot of our movies that we were looking forward to in 2021, we kind of dubbed 2021 the year of the superhero movies. A lot of them have been pushed back due to coronavirus and COVID-19 and just the circumstances in the world right now. I think a lot of them are slowly starting to start production again. I know Falcon and Winter Soldier this week started production again. So did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. They actually started production today on Tuesday. So it seems like things are slowly starting to kind of come back into the mix. But I'm going to run through a list of these movies that we had a very high interest in and see how far back they got pushed. And then we're going to talk about the impact that they have on each individual one. The first one we're going to talk about is the movie I just mentioned, the Batman movie. It's supposed to come out June 25th, 2021. It has been moved to October 1st, 2021, which is right around Halloween. So I don't necessarily, I think that's maybe a better slot for them as a Halloween-esque film, because I get the sense that it's going to be like a dark sense tone Batman movie, but not like to the extent that we're used to with the Cape Crusader. A lot of the things that we've already seen have been very exciting. I think we both mentioned that this is probably one of our top 3 most anticipated movies for 2021, because it's just everything about it has been really, really stellar so far, and everything we've seen has been really, really good. What do you think about the move back date?
No, I mean, I think it works perfectly. I mean, I didn't know what month it was coming out anyway, so, no difference to me. I am happy it is coming out next year at the very least, but it's really my number 1 most anticipated movie, period.
Yeah.
And it, maybe dethroned by the Snyder Cut, obviously, tough competition there. Other than that, very close competition,
right.
It's my number 1.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So I'm just beyond excited for that to come out.
Yeah. The next one is the movie that was supposed to already be out, was supposed to come out May 11th, 2020. Has been moved to November 6th, 2020, which was the Eternal spot, and that is the Black Widow movie. I think it doesn't really hurt it that much. I don't think it helps it that much either. I think it's going to be what it's going to be at this point. Whether it came out May 11th or in November 6th, I think it was the date I said. November 6th. So I think that's a movie that's not necessarily going to be hurt by being pushed back. I don't think any of these movies are going to be hurt necessarily. It's just we have to wait longer for them, which is frustrating. But I still think it's going to be very exciting because movie theaters are slowly starting to open back up all across the country. So by November, everything should be back up and running pretty close to where it was before everything shut down. And people are going to be dying to get out and go to movies. So I think it's a nice spot for it to be. And I think it could be a sleeper to be one of the $1 billion Marvel movies, kind of like what Captain Marvel was.
I think after such a long gap, I think it definitely has a shot. I think the gap is going to help it out.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, actually. So that'll be interesting to see.
Definitely. Let's move through this list even more because there's a lot. Let's see here. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was supposed to come out 7th, 2021. It has been pushed back to March 25th, 2022. So now we have to wait 2 years for this movie to come out, which is very frustrating because this was one of the ones I was looking forward to the most because of how it lined up perfectly with WandaVision and how it would just all mix together really well. But now we have to wait for another 2 years for this movie to come out, which, I mean, the hype is going to be there for it for sure. It's just frustrating that we have to wait even longer for this movie to come out now.
Yeah.
The Eternals was supposed to be on November 6th, 2020. Now it's been moved to February 12th, 2021. I still think this movie is going to be a sleeper as well. I think this is one of the most exciting, one of the most anticipated movies on my list is the Eternals movie because I honestly don't have a lot to go off of. I don't really have a lot to expect, and it just normally when Marvel gives us these movies of characters you don't really know, characters you don't really expect to be on a film, 9 times out of 10, they're some of the most intriguing and special MCU movies, which is very exciting to see the Eternals come on screen. So I'm very excited to see them. But they've been moved back to, I just had it, February 12th, 2021, which is frustrating, but it's there. The Flash movie that has been delayed, I don't know how many times, actually has been moved up. It was supposed to come out July 1st, 2022. It's been moved to June 3rd, 2022. So it's been moved up a couple weeks. Do we think the movie will actually come out? I still don't think this movie will actually come out. But we'll see how. Do you have any anticipation for this movie at all?
No. No, zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, apart from it being like entertainingly bad, no.
I don't even know if it'll be entertainingly bad.
But really the question of whether it's actually going to come out or not is more interesting to me than the prospect of seeing the movie. Because it's just been like this hellish development cycle for years now. And now when everything is being pushed back, of course it gets the opposite and it gets moved up, which makes no sense, but whatever.
It's like the New Mutants movie we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Right.
Got pushed back for like 5 years, and then all of a sudden the world shuts down. Like, oh, let's move it up a little bit. That'll work.
Right.
Morbius, the movie that I know you're excited about, was supposed to come out July 31st, 2020, has been moved to March 19th, 2021.
Oh, no. Whatever will I do?
I know you're very, very excited about that movie. Another movie is the New Mutants movie that we were just talking about. It's actually, they don't know when it's coming out yet. It says moved from April 3rd, 2020 to a date to be determined. So they still don't know if this movie is going to be coming out or not.
Oh my gosh.
At this point, because this is still technically under Fox property, correct?
I feel like they still have kind of a Fox. I think the movie's under Disney property, but they still keep kind of like the Fox banner.
Yeah,
well, the movie's owned by Disney.
Because
that's what I think anyway.
You could just release this on Disney Plus and just move on with your life. I'm pretty sure at this point.
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the trailer that I saw was very intriguing, to say the least. But I still think this is one of the ones that you could release straight to platform, and nobody would really be that upset with it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has been moved from February 21st, 2021 to May 7th, 2021, which is another movie that I have no idea what to expect. So, which means that I'm looking forward to it just on the intrigue alone. Of not knowing what to expect is very exciting when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Shazam 2 has been moved from April 1st, 2020 to November 4th, 2020. Shazam 2 has been moved from April 1st, 2022 to November 4th, 2022. The movie that we were very shocked by, we got to see it 2 weeks early. The movie that we were both very shocked by, I'm excited to see the second one, to see where they go off of from the first one, because it was truly a good time. And it was, to that point, one of the best DC movies I had seen in a long time, as my camera shuts off. So I'm going to put it on you. But what do you think about what are you expecting with Shazam 2?
I mean, I'm really not sure. I mean, they had that teaser at the end with like a centipede guy or something like that I wasn't really familiar with.
His name is like Bookworm or something. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember. Or I don't know anything about that character actually, so I'll have to look into it.
Right.
But yeah, and then I'm wondering if they're going to tie it into Black Adam in this one as well, which I'm really warming up to Black Adam, honestly. Yeah. I'm kind of excited for it, in just kind of like a dumb fun sort of way. So maybe it'll work just fine. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, Shazam 2 I am really excited for, because I think they knocked it out of the park with the first one. That's really the only DC property I have investment in right now, in their movies,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thor Love and Thunder has been moved from November 5th, 2021 to February 18th, 2022. Another one that we were both very excited about, just because of how Thor's character arc ended in Endgame, to see where he goes from here. Obviously, you get Jane Foster back into the mix. You have Christian Bale as playing an unidentified villain as of right now, which is very exciting as well. So there's just a lot to be excited about for Thor Love and Thunder. And it kind of, these kind of movies, it doesn't bother me that they get pushed back, because it gives, directors like Taika Waititi and then more time to kind of just perfect it even more, without trying to rush and get it done. So that's very exciting for that as well.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 was supposed to come out July 16th, 2021, has been moved to November 5th, 2021, which is after Far From Home, the teaser from Far From Home. I think that's going to be a highly anticipated movie. I think that's going to be another $1 billion box office hit for sure, because people love them some Spider-Man. Speaking of Spider-Man, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2 was moved from April 8th, 2022 to October 7th, 2022. Another one that the first one was one of the best Spider-Man movies I've ever seen in my life. One of the best superhero movies I've seen in my entire life. Gets a sequel, and I'm very excited about it. It gives me a lot of hope, and I cannot wait to see a live action Miles Morales in the MCU at some point, because I'm like 99.9% sure we're going to get that at some point, as long as the world doesn't end. But it's still very exciting.
Yeah.
The sequel of this, I have no idea where they're really going to go with it. But it's still very exciting to see, because they could open up even more because of the trailer, the teaser that they had at the end with Spider-Man 2099, I think his name is.
Yep.
Getting him in there will be a lot of fun as well. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Another movie I know you're just dying to see, and that is Venom: Let There Be Carnage. It was supposed to come out October 2nd, 2020. It's been moved to June 25th, 2021. Let's talk about the title real quick. Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
Wow.
Could they not have? I feel like this is going to sound really mean what I'm about to say, and I don't mean it to be mean in any way. But it seems like they got a letter from a sick kid, and this was the title that they came up with, and this is the one that they used, because there's like no creative, there's nothing behind it.
I wonder if that's the name of a comic run that I'm not familiar with. But still, I mean, I don't think it really works.
I think they should have just
gone with Venom 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Venom versus Carnage, or just some. I don't know. It's just. Oh well.
Yeah, it's kind of an awkward movie title, definitely.
And then the last one that we are interested in is Wonder Woman 1984 has been moved from June 5th to August 14th, 2020. So still comes out later this year, which I'm intrigued by it a little bit. It's the first Wonder Woman was okay. Let's see. I'm just wondering to see where they go from here with the character. I'm really wondering what they're going to do with the DC Extended Universe, whatever they call it now. Worlds of DC, I think is what it is. It's just, I wonder what they're going to do with all of these characters that they have put time into now, seeing if they come together or if they just keep them separate. We'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, these are all the movies that are delayed, that are coming out later than expected. That's just kind of what's going to happen when a pandemic happens and life just falls apart completely. That's kind of what you can expect to happen with that. Man, I can't really think of anything else except for your Smash theory. So if you want to end on your Smash theory, it's the only truly epic way to end this podcast back after a hiatus is a Smash theory. So hit me with your. We need to have like a segment, like Jason's weekly Smash theory or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll have something like that. But what is your Smash theory?
Yes. Okay. So, I don't even remember where the heck I left off on this. It was probably right after Byleth came out. And so that was the end of the first Fighters Pass, which was the first 5 characters that they added, as DLC after the game, after Piranha Plant, obviously. And then they announced the second Fighters Pass would have 6 characters in it. And then in a mini Nintendo Direct, like a month or a month and a half ago, they announced that the first character from that is going to be from ARMS. And if you're not familiar with ARMS, it's one of the biggest sort of newer IPs that Nintendo has come up with. So it's this game where like every character, it's kind of like a fighting game, and you're in this big ring, and it's got kind of like Overwatch style characters, sort of ish, and it's got like 15 different characters in it. And they all have extendable arms, so you're like punching. I call it Overwatch Punch Out because that's pretty much what it is. It's like you're in this giant ring, and there are a bunch of like multicolored characters and whatever. The different fighters, and then you're it's like Punch Out, like that you're stretching super far, and each of them have like a different gimmick to their arms. But like that's the reason why it stretches so much. And so what they said is, there's going to be a character from this game, and that's going to be the next one. And then they showed an image with all 15 of the characters in the game. So technically, that means everyone's on the table. But there are a few sort of behind-the-scenes things that rule out, in my eyes, or just kind of, help out different characters in that sense.
Right.
The first one being is that we already have an ARMS character in the game in a way. We have Springman, who's like the main character, sort of the main mascot. He's already an assist trophy in Smash. He's also already got a spirit in the game, and then he also has a downloadable Mii costume too. So he's already an assist trophy, so that would be very strange. It would also be strange for them to say, hey, which one out of these 15 characters do you think it'll be? Oh, let's just go with the main character, you know?
Right.
Of course, let's do that. Yeah. So I don't think they're going to go with him for those reasons, you know, and I think that there are other characters that kind of warrant coming in over him, even though he's kind of like the face, like on the box and everything. There are other characters who have risen above him as like fan favorites.
Right.
That would definitely make sense to be added. And so you've also got Ribbon Girl, who's like kind of the other main fighter, and she's already got a spirit and a Mii costume as well. Beyond that, you have 3 more fighters, Ninjara, Min Min, and Twintel, who already have spirits in the game. So that's 5 out of the 15 already have spirits in the game. But it's kind of been a question in the community lately as to whether spirits deconfirm a character coming in as DLC.
Right.
And I don't think so. I think they kind of do, because it shows that they've already considered that character. But then, I mean, if Nintendo comes to them after the fact, and we know that Nintendo's likely Nintendo's giving him a list, giving Sakurai a list, and they're like, who can you do out of this? But if Nintendo's doing that, then, you know, it's like it seems like they've already considered characters who are in the game as spirits, because like, oh, let's make the decision to make this character a spirit.
Right.
Because we're probably not going to put them in as a character. But I don't think that was a final thing. So a couple of the characters who are kind of at the top of speculation are 2 of the spirits. Number 1 is Min Min, who her gimmick is that her arms are ramen, and she fights to kind of like represent her family's ramen restaurant. So I think that's pretty awesome. I can definitely get behind that.
I can get behind that.
Absolutely. And the reason that people are kind of, you know, thinking it could be her is because there was an in-game event called the Party Crash Bash, which I believe it was sort of like an online tournament sort of deal, but her character in-game was the one who won that tournament. And so people are thinking, you know, if they were asking which character from ARMS do you think is coming to Smash, then that would be a very like real world thing that they could point to as like a reason, you know, this is why Min Min would get in, other than just like, you know, who's coming to Smash, and then just like there's no you know, no discernible evidence for anyone. You know, that would be like actual discernible evidence, like, oh, she won the Party Crash Bash, which was the big in-game event, so you know that's why she's coming.
Yeah.
So very long-winded explanation, but the second one is Twintel, and both of those 2 are kind of like the big fan favorites as well. So that's why it would make sense that they're coming. The second one is Twintel, and a big part of the reason why people think it's her is because you look at all these characters in ARMS, and their arms are all obviously super long and everything, and their hands are super big and whatever. And in Smash, you know, picking up items and grabbing onto ledges and different things like that, you know, it's not like it would be impossible for characters with super long arms to do that. But Twintel, her arms are made out of her hair, and she still has human arms, and she's the only one like that. And she's like the #1 fan favorite character too. So it would make it a lot easier on the development team if she could pick things up with her actual human arms and then fight with her hair arms, you know. So that's something that people have been thinking, you know, she fits a little bit easier into the game in that sense. And obviously you've got all different kinds of characters in the game already. You know, you've got like Ivysaur and whatever, and he can pick up items and use them and stuff like that. So, and Duck Hunt, you know, all kinds of weird characters. So of course they could make it work. But I'm also wondering, you know, if they wanted to make it sort of easier on themselves, and she's a fan favorite character, then she seems like, you know, a really obvious pick. So very long story short, my two big guesses are Min Min and Twintel. But the direct is going to be, they said the fighter would be announced and released sometime in June. And we don't know if, the virus has pushed back those plans or anything like that.
Right.
We have really no way of knowing that. Also because Nintendo never tells us anything until like the day of they're doing something. But yeah, so hopefully they will end up releasing this June. And, from the inside, it looks like development is still going smoothly and they're still able to work on it like from their homes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll have to see. I mean, I hope they're coming out soon because I'm very excited for new content as always.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And excited to find out if I'm right also. Very excited for that too.
Definitely. Well, we are very excited to be back with you here at the Dorks Next Door. We've missed doing this on a weekly basis. Life has been crazy and hectic, but hopefully things are slowly starting to come back to normal. So we are hopefully going to be back at this at a regular basis. Like we said before, please go check out our website, June 15th. That's a Monday. This upcoming Monday, check out our website, June 15th. There's not going to be a whole lot of content to start off with, but every day we're going to be uploading a lot of stuff on there. So make sure you join us there. Be prepared for that as well. We are just very excited to be a part of this endeavor. We're very excited to be stepping out and doing something even more different out of our comfort zone a little bit. So we are very excited to do this, but definitely check us out, dorksnextdoor.com. Take out the E from next, just like our Twitter handle. You can follow us on Twitter at dorksnextdoor. You can follow me on Twitter at IamAndyYork. Jason is no longer on Twitter, so you can't really follow him on Twitter anymore.
You can. I mean, you definitely can.
It's still there. He won't be posting anything probably for a while. You can definitely check him out though if you would like. But yeah, we were very excited to be back. We were very excited to get this thing rolling again. I've definitely missed podcasting. I've been on, one of my buddies has a wrestling podcast and I was on it one time and I was like, oh man, I missed this so much. So we were very excited to get back at it. We're very excited to be on the podcasting train again. So do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap it up and call it a podcast?
I think I'm pretty good. I mean, I am very stoked for the website launch. I think that'll be a whole lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I think it'll be kind of a new dimension to what we're doing, So, and I hope this episode turned out well too.
Yeah. Well, this is a test run we're using Zoom, so this is a test run. If Zoom, if you want to sponsor us, we're totally fine with taking a sponsorship from you too. But yeah, this is different, but it's worked better than anything we've tried before. So let's hope that it looks good in post, and if not, then we'll figure something out for next week. But for Jason, I'm Andy York. We appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to us each and every week, even though this has been week 1 for 3 months, but that's fine. We appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to us. Please check out our website, June 15th, Dorks Next Door. Take out the E from next.com. Check us out there. Follow us on all social media, things like that. Go check out our friends that are helping us, Nico at New World Nerds. Check him out. Check out Chris Belcher at Pipe Bomb Wrestling. Check out all of them as well. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. We appreciate you guys joining us, and we'll catch you guys next week.